it's Tia. It's been a Mississippi minute, but we bite, baby.
What's up, Pink Posse? It's your girl, Ja. And yep, we back at it like a crack addict.
It's your girl, Jiggy, a.k.a. Tanika. Listen, pull up on us. It's time to cut up, because we back.
What's up, Pink Posse? It's your girl, Kogi, and we're back. Pink Sunday Radio. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Pink Sunday Radio. All right, so before we get started with all the introductions, I want to have my co-host say their warm welcomes. We have Jiggy.
Hey, y'all.
Ja.
What's poppin', Pink Posse?
Tia.
Hello.
And we have our special guest co-host that will be with us for the full 2 hours, Joy from the P Valley Podcast.
Hi, y'all.
All right. So before we move on, we're going to have Ja give us the disclaimer.
Okie dokie. The views and opinions expressed in the program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent. Pink Sunday Radio is rated mature for language and subject matter. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
That is correct. Remember, we are now on StreamYard. So we are live on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. So you can leave your comments for us. I already see the Pink Posse is popping in. Hello, JT. Hello, Kendra. So make sure you put in those comments wherever you're watching. Okay. And we will bring them in. Thank you very much, Tia. Or Tanika. But yes, I was like, but yeah, you will, we'll bring those in and your comments and everything. Okay, without further ado, Joy, please let the people know a little bit about yourself.
Oh, we lost her for a second.
No, I'm back. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let the people know a little bit about yourself and when you started your P Valley podcast and why did you start it?
So before I go into that, I just want to say that you guys have such an incredible show. I am blown away. I started the P Valley podcast as a fan, but I thought I was a fan until I came across y'all's podcast and I see that you guys are the real fans. And it's like, I try to be critical in my podcast as much as I try to sound like praise and criticism, so I feel like the people behind the show, they're not really trying to, can I curse?
Yes,
absolutely.
Because I can. Okay.
Girl,
I feel like no, because you mentioned all the places that y'all are streaming, so I just wanted to be sure. But so I feel like the cast is not really trying to fuck with me, even though I fuck with the cast. And so it's like sometimes someone will like something I say or be discreet about it. But I feel like I keep it very real as far as I will say what I don't like on my podcast. Mm-hmm. So basically I watched the show. I watched it a few months. I think it premiered in June. And I think I first saw it in October or so or September. And I liked it so much that I wanted to start a podcast, even though I always said I don't want to do a podcast because it's too much work. But I loved the show so much. So I started the podcast in October of 2020, whatever year it came out. I think it came out in 2020 or 2021, whatever it came out. So I started the podcast and I've really branched out. And as far as I cover more things than P Valley. But I also I also take my breaks. So I recorded Friday night to tell people that I was doing this today. But before Friday night, I hadn't done an episode for like 3 months. So basically, I'm a fan of the show. I can't wait to see where it goes. And I'm just ready for it to pick up all the awards.
Girl,
all of the awards.
Yes. Listen, you and me both. Okay. I just want to say, just to piggyback off of you saying how you critique the show, I think that is one of the things we do too. Now, we will critique down. Okay, so listen, honey, one thing about us, we'll say we love it, but we'll also be like,
yeah, that ain't it. Yeah,
that ain't it. So we're in the same boat with that one. All right then. All right. Thank you so much for that introduction then. All right. So we will move on and begin our ever so important discussion about the WGA SAG-AFTRA strike that has continued. I mean, I think we are all following, and we encourage everyone to please follow SAG-AFTRA, WGA. Every time you see it across your timeline, please continue to follow and stay very active, because again, you love P-Valley. It ain't starting no time soon, y'all. Okay, so let's begin our discussion. All right, I think Tia will lead us off on that.
Yep, I wanted to start it. Tosh or Kogi put us onto this film from 11/11. They're on Twitter, so go follow them. We'll definitely encourage y'all to do that on our page. That talks a little bit about the overview of the strike, which I think is important, because I think a lot of people really still don't know why they're striking. So let's start with that.
You cannot change the business model as much as it has changed and not expect the contract to change too. It's crazy.
For the first time in 63 years, members of SAG-AFTRA and the WGA are on strike at the same time because of the greed of the Hollywood studios. After decades of being told, if you don't take the deal, someone else will, members of SAG-AFTRA decided enough was enough, and this ends now.
These companies could have agreed to every single item in our proposal package without a problem whatsoever in their bottom line.
Bob Iger of Disney gets a 500% bonus based on the stock performance.
There's a level of expectation that they have that is just not realistic.
We have a problem.
Are those 3 SAG-AFTRA checks on my table? That's the first check, that's the second check, and that's the third check. And that's why we're going to strike.
If we don't stand tall right now, we are all going to be in trouble. We are all going to be replaced by machines. So the jig is up, AMPTP. You have to wake up and smell the coffee. Let's go. You share the wealth, because you cannot exist without us.
Billionaire corporations is making millions off of that's doing the work for them. All they're asking for is their fair share.
That is probably one of the most powerful films that I've seen. Like everything about it, like the facts that came out in that, just like, and I think a lot of people don't get, they're asking for a 2% share in streaming, like nothing outrageous. They're asking for a 2% share in the streaming dollars, and that's what they are saying is outrageous and ridiculous. 2% in millions and billions of dollars doesn't even put a dent in what these companies and these executives are making. Their kids are still going to go to private school. They still going to go on their private jets. Right. They still going to be out at the islands. And what's interesting is the Disney CEO was sitting when he's doing his thing saying it's unreasonable.
Big land.
And you come out, it's this beautiful land. It's all this. Then there's a jet bay on this side.
Yeah.
And there's all this stuff, and he's like, oh, it's just so unreasonable. I just can't believe what they're asking for. And like Fran said, a lot of people are confused because they were like, well, this is the contract they signed before. Why is there a problem now? It's because what is happening right now didn't exist then. Streaming didn't exist the way it exists now. Before, if you did 22 episodes on a pretty big show, you got residuals once they got to 100 episodes. And when you guys sit at home, I know I used to sit at home and I would watch like TBS and TNT and some of these things, and you'll see your favorite shows come on basically all day. Well, before, those actors used to get a part of that. They used, and that would take them through, because I think the other thing that people don't understand, actors, actresses, writers, people in this industry don't work like you and me and the rest of us work. Even if you're a business owner, they don't work like you and me and the rest of us work. They have something for 5 months. It might be another 12 months before they get another gig. So those residuals and whatever they make in that 5 months has to last them through that time. So what they're saying is the industry has changed. Go ahead, Tosh.
I was fixing to say, and also remember how shows, those 22 episodes and all that, when they would get deals, they would go on to other broadcast networks. There was, like Tia said, it wasn't going to streaming. It was going to another broadcast, TV Land. Y'all remember TV Land? They would go to other broadcast networks, so they were having good money. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't going to a Netflix where they coming back with these $2 residuals and all this kind of stuff. Things have changed. That's the point. So like Fran said, okay, things are changed. So that means the contract needs to change. Period. That's it. In this movie, it says, in this short film by 11 Films, if you notice, 87%, 26,000. Like I said on the previous show, that's $13 an hour. Like Tia said, poverty line. I mean, this is ridiculous. I just cannot. I mean, I don't know how regular Americans are tweeting and just saying elitist this and elite. And I also want to bring up, I'm sorry, I have to bring this up. I don't know if y'all followed this, but the labor union for hotel workers, right? Now they are striking because of the money they are making, the working conditions. So now they are walking out of their hotels. Beverly Wilshire, where the Los Angeles Emmys have just now held their ceremony, and those people crossed the picket line. So now they are getting on the television academies butt right now, because this is now, quote unquote, a struck hotel. They are on the picket line, those union workers, hotel workers, and these people are just crossing over the picket line to go to the LA Emmys. They are on their asses. Like, I'm sorry. This is absolutely crazy. I don't know. We can go ahead, Tanika.
Go ahead, Tanika.
I'm like fueled up. I'm like irritated right now. Go ahead.
I think a reason why people look at it and say elitist actors is because they forget who actors really are. Like, I just went to see Mission Impossible like yesterday, and we think actors, we think Tom Cruise, but like, a big part of that Mission Impossible movie was Tom Cruise running through the airport and people trying to find Tom Cruise, and they're grabbing random people. And we don't think of those random people that are background people in the thing that they grabbed. That man that he grabbed, who he mistaked for Tom Cruise, that's an actor too. And he has to get a check, and he's living at the poverty line. But we don't think of him or her or those 10,000, or however, I wasn't sure it wasn't 10,000, but however many people that were in that airport just walking around that have been there. I'm sure they worked a 16-hour day that day to be a background actor. We don't think of them when we think of actors, and we have to realize that they deserve to be. I mean, 16 hours is a long ass day. I don't work 16 hours, baby, but if I did, I'm going to expect to be paid a real fair damn wage, and they aren't being paid.
Come on.
Joy, did you have something, or were you just asserting?
Yeah, could I say something?
Yep.
Yes, I wanted to say, like, yes, is that when I think about the strike, I don't even think about necessarily the actors and the writers. I think of the guy. And if we think about the strike through the then this is not about.
You're breaking up a little bit.
You're breaking up a little bit, but I think you're back now.
Oh no. If we think about the strike as just about. Okay, if we think about the strike as just about writers and actors, then we're forgetting that this is actually about AI. AI will affect or can affect every single person's job. You don't have to be an actor or a writer for AI. And so if we remember that they are actually sending a message that we are all valuable and we are all, and that we all should not be replaced, it begins with this strike. And it's, you know, spilling out other industries and other fields. And that's important because we have to get ahead of this. We have to get our voices heard now. We can't be trying to put these companies in a position where they're making all these millions and billions and then we're asking for our money. The time is now. And so I'm happy about the UPS. I didn't know about the hotel. It's like when every single time you go to an ATM machine, that used to be a person's job. You used to the bank from 9 to 5. And then if you wanted to deposit a check, you had to tell a teller. Every single time you go to an ATM, there's all these Walmarts where they're trying to make it all self-checkout. And regular stores have the self-checkout. That's just a slow roll of machines replacing your job. And these machines are just getting and better and more efficient at it. And so what's so devastating about this strike is I didn't know how underpaid these people are. And that's what's so sad about everybody online, you know, criticizing the strike because and everybody is not cashing the big checks. They're actually not making any money. And before they used to be able to live off of it, but now they can't do that. And so it's like, you need to care because this is not about the actors and the writers. This is about all of our jobs. This is about everyone, and it shouldn't have had to take place now. And, or it shouldn't have gotten to this point. And when you mentioned the 2%, 2% is way too much for these studios because they already have lost long ago. They have lost more money than the actors have asked for in this strike. Long ago. It was very early on into the strike. Had they given them what they wanted, they wouldn't have lost as much money as they did. So it's like, we just got to pay attention to this moment and we got to show our support like you guys are. And we have to try to educate people to be like, this is not about wealthy people wanting money. This is about, we're living in a time where corporations and businesses are trying to take all of our jobs and they're trying to continue to underpay us. And that's not going to change. So I support them. I'm sad that, you know, with P-Valley taking, God knows when it's going to be back. But, you know, I'm sad about that. But I will say this, though. I will say this to everyone listening. I was listening to a podcast and the host, she spoke to insiders. And the insider said that the strike is expected to end mid-September because the executives are away on vacation right now. And so this is not the time for everybody to be gathering to do negotiations. But once all their vacations end and they want to, you know, get things filming again, they were saying that it's expected to end mid-September. So I can't verify that. Obviously, it's not mid-September. But I just wanted to say that to provide like a glimmer of hope, you know, because it's like when you know how greedy corporate America is, it's frightening to think that I can't believe the strike is still at this point. But if I hear mid-September, I'm like, okay, well, that gives me some idea. I hope that is correct because I mean, I feel like they will hold out for a very long time. And it's like, you're not going to pull in the same numbers with all these unknowns if you're replacing big names with unknowns.
Yeah, I mean, mid-September, but we also have to observe what is happening with them pulling shows and bringing them into broadcast network. They have so much content. One thing we noticed last night, me and Tanika, was that Invasion, right? That was on Disney. is now on Hulu. Like, that's crazy. It was like, wait, Secret Invasion with Samuel L. Y'all just shifted. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't have Disney Plus, but a lot of people have Hulu. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, holy crap, Secret Invasion is now on Hulu. Marvel is now going to be on what, ABC?
Yeah, they're already planning for the fall schedule. So like the stuff that right now is only available on Disney or on streaming, they're like, okay, since y'all are gonna strike and we can't put our new shows up, we'll just take the shows that are exclusive to streaming and plug that into our fall schedule and let y'all continue to strike.
Kevin
Yellowstone.
Costner, AMC Yellowstone is now coming to what, ABC? I don't know, but that's exactly what they're doing. So when you say September, I'm like, that's a glimmer of hope. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't trust these motherfuckers.
And the craziest thing about that is once you put it on network TV, now you have to pay those residuals you didn't want to pay. So what are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Just negotiate and pay the people, because either way, you're going to have to pay. You're doing something, you put it on. Everything you say you don't want to do, you gonna have to do. So, and then to Joy's convo about AI, one of the WGA captains said that the reason that AI needs to be taken seriously is because it not only erases the actors, it also erases all of the other jobs on set. Why would they need to hire an entire hair makeup team for digital robots? Less PAs. It's all about saving money from them, and they'll start erasing the other jobs on set too. And to add to what Joy said, it isn't just the writers and the actors, it's all of those people that Carolyn talked about. It's all of the hair and makeup, but it's the crew, it's craft services, it's the people that cut their hair, it's the people that do their nails, and the actual economies in the places they film, like Toronto and LA and Atlanta, because those hotels here would benefit from that. These restaurants here would benefit from that. All of that goes away if it ain't no people, because robots ain't finna go buy dinner. That's not what's going to happen. So if you get rid of all that, and just like Joy said, it's all of the jobs. And the biggest overarching thing, as before we move on, Malcolm Mays, who was on Snowfall and also on Power, the one Raising Kanan, talked a little bit about something, and this really helped me in my mind and how to explain it to people. So we're going to show this real quick.
So I've been hearing a lot of shit that I don't like about, you know, the actors strike. And so I'm gonna clear up a lot of fucking shit that y'all don't understand. Let's do this. First and foremost, 2% of actors in the SAG union actually work. Period. Actually make a living. And of that living, most of them only make less than $40,000 a year. That's crazy. Right? So the average cost of living in Los Angeles is $50,000. That's nuts. So please, I don't want to hear this shit about how all actors are rich. Some of us are blessed enough to make a living. Some of us are blessed enough to feed our families. But for the rest of everybody else, it is a difficult process. It is a difficult thing. It is a laborious task to be a fucking actor, to be in this industry, a writer. You are a labor person. This is a labor issue. This is not a rich people arguing with other rich people issue. So keep that in mind.
And that goes back to exactly what Joy said. This isn't rich people arguing with people. This is a labor strike. This is a labor dispute. These are laborers saying these are unfair labor practices, and we're going against it, which is why you are seeing the uprising, as Kogi said, with the hotels. UPS, we almost lost Broadway because the IATSE, charge it to my head, not my heart. I got that wrong. But they were just about to go on strike, and then Disney and a lot of the other people actually did a agreement with them, because the thing about it is, if they had went on strike, you can't produce the news without them. You can't produce almost everything that's produced. So with them, they were like, okay, we see the value. We need them to step up and see the value with these writers and actors. And like Joy said, AI is part of the issue. And what all of them are saying, we're not saying we don't want AI, like, because that's technology. That's what's going to happen. At some type, we rode horses to go everywhere. Then they took horsepower and they put it in cars, and now we drive cars. Technology is going to happen. happen. AI is here. It's going to happen. What they're saying is we don't even care that y'all use it, but don't destroy us while you're using it. Let's figure out a way to make it fair that you guys can use it, because it makes sense that you would want to use it, because that's where the technology is going, but not in a way that erases us again. And we're going to go over probably at some point the actual what they did on both of the strikes, what they proposed and what they rejected, because when you see
I was looking at that and that was a mess.
And then it's about consent too, because they're not it's about the consent. They're taking away the consent. Then because it's like, okay, you want to scan my face, but then you don't even, I'm not giving consent to do so. Like, and then I'm not getting residual. Like, you could just use it anytime you want. Like, come on. It's just the basics. Ja, what do you want to say about everything, my dear?
Oh, baby, Tia covered it all. Everything I was going to say, she didn't say it, baby. I don't got to say nothing. I don't got to say nothing. No, but seriously, that's what's the most, not the most scary, but that's very scary, that what they want to do is take people's images and pay you for, let's say, especially like background actors, people who are just starting, they want to pay you for a day of work. And for the rest of eternity, use your image, your likeness, and do whatever they want to do with it. It doesn't matter. And you have no say, you have no pay. So they continue making money on you and you don't. And you're just like, then why do they need to pay you for the next thing that they have? They don't need, so T already spoke to the whole, how it affects hair, makeup, the craft surfaces, hotels, people, Airbnbs, people who have Airbnbs, who these people temporarily rent their housing from when they have to travel to another state to record these things. It affects a larger group than people think. So while they're thinking it's really cool, because I feel like AI, they got us playing with it. We can look like queens, we can look like vampires and all this stuff, and we think it's all fun and games, when really what's serious is that they want to do more devious things. And where does it take outside of just acting? Where else does that go? The use of AI. So
Agreed. Oh, this is beautiful. I just want to say thank you. This was a wonderful segment. I think we can now wrap this up and go to our steady grind.
Are you an everyday hustler? Are you always on your steady grind? Are you a Black storyteller that matters? Check out actor and philanthropist J. Alphonse Nicholson's signature apparel line at 5grinds.com and pick up a t-shirt, hoodie, and book bag and tell the world who you are. That's FIVE Grinds.com.
All right. Shout out to Big Fonz for the steady grind, for the steady grind ad. All right, you guys. The fans voted 201 Pussyland. Not you saying All right, so the first segment, of course, is Rate the Episode.
All right. So y'all know this is our segment where from 1 mic to 5 mics, we rate the episode. I'm still thinking of mine, but before we go into it, let me give y'all the actual ratings themselves so you know what we're talking about. 1 mic is Unk's Chicken and Dressing. 2 mics is Sit on My Lap Slaw. 3 mics is Ernestine's Neck Bones. I know y'all probably feel a way about it being all the way up to 3 mics, but that's what we rated here on Pink Sunday Radio. 4 mics, this one be giving me a time, is Weed Wangs or Lemon Pepper Wet. Lemon Pepper Wet, of course, Hot Wang Cancel and all that, but Ja and Jiggy do not like lemon pepper, so we had to throw the Weed Wangs in there. And 5 mics is Murder's Pork Chops, collard greens, candy yams, and corn.
My Wi-Fi keeps.
So those are the ratings.
All righty. So Many. Okay, sorry. All right. I'll go first. Straight up, you guys. This is a 2 for me. Pussyland is more so in my Jiggy, please. Okay. It's more so at the bottom here for me. I will say though, it's not. So I didn't write. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't write out my 1 through 18 like Jiggy. I did not. I apologize, Jiggy. I'm sorry. Okay, but I will say that it is in my top 8. So it's on the end. Okay.
Ow. It's in your top 8, but it's too much.
No. What I'm saying is it's at the bottom. I just gotta write it. I don't know where it is. It's not.
You mean
legacy.
at the bottom 8?
Yeah. At the bottom 8. But it's not the worst episode for me. That's what I'm saying. I just haven't figured out where it goes in that bottom. It's better than what's the episode? It's better than 106 for me.
Legacy.
Legacy. I had to write it down. Either way go, it's in the bottom. It's in the bottom 8. I have to work out them episodes. But for me, it's a 2. One thing I love about this episode, y'all know for me, is that it does a great job with the pandemic. I think that's wonderful. They really understood and they gave me everything with that. Of course, another highlight is Murder, the Buckets. But other than that, and I don't know if it was, I don't know. It just really, it had its moments, but honestly, I felt like 202 would have been a better setup for the season than 201. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was. I agree.
But I feel like 202 would have been a better setup for 201. But
do you think that they should have been switched? Maybe. Do you think that we should have maybe had 202 first and then 201 be the?
It's sort of. I see what you're saying. Like I don't, and I'm going like.
I'm trying to remember what happened in 202.
Like maybe if there was maybe if they would have kind of gave part of the COVID, it just seemed like maybe some parts of 202 should have been in 201. I don't know. It just didn't seem like 201 was a good setup episode for the rest of the season, but there were elements of 202 that made sense for the setup. I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes sense though. Like I felt like 202 was more cohesive for the rest of the season. It just felt like a more complete episode. Whereas 201 didn't feel as like a okay, let's go. All right, let's go, baby. We got the setup for the rest of the season, no.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't that. It wasn't much let's go after 201.
Yeah. So for me, it's a 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well, I feel like if I had to, by itself, this would be like a 3.5 for me. I'll get more into that in a second, but I will say before I go into the explanation that if I were doing it like 1 through 18, and where does it fall in the scale of things, I would say maybe it would have to be like in the 2.5 or something like that when I go 1 through 18.
I got you. I see what you're saying.
Worst, or not worst, but best to not my favorite.
Right.
But in and of it by itself, to me, I enjoyed the episode a lot. So then by itself, I feel a little higher about it because I love the opening, the Pussyland opening, had my eyes wide. I was seeing all the things and I was confused in the beginning, like Tia said last week, but once we got into the tent and all the things were happening, I was like, yes, P-Valley is back. I was anxious to see everything that went on. And for me, sometimes a setup episode for a season or a show can be kind of slow dragging because you're setting the stage. So I understand we're not going to get all the action and all the things that we know and love about the show in the first episode. So I have a lot of like understanding for that. But I loved a lot of things. Like I said, the seeing murder and that situation happening again and what was going on individually, it was a little higher by itself.
Right. I see what you're saying. I as a standalone episode. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Joy, do you know your rating already between 1 mics and 5 mics?
Did everybody go already?
No.
Okay, can I be last? Can I be last?
Yeah, you can be
okay. Okay.
So I give it 3 mics. The fact that Ja has Ernestine's dry ass neck bones on this outline is sitting me right now. But I give it a 3.
Ad-lib that a little bit. My bad.
So I happen to like setup episodes. So like, what's the other setup episode that people don't like? Is it 103? Which is the other one that people don't like?
Higher Ground, I think.
And I'd be like, I loved it because to me, although setup episodes are definitely not as exciting as the other episodes, I do like the backstory that we get. So like, I liked kind of seeing a little more of the inner workings of Derek and Keyshawn and kind of like what their house looks like and what happens there. And I even learned a lot more about them in the conversation with Sheriff Bailey and some of that stuff that happened. I liked the episode, but it is when you're coming off of Murder Night and then you come into Pussyland, it's like, wait, what? Because you come into like an action-packed episode. People got shot, people got killed, there was a fight, it's a couple of performances, it's like all of the things that you have. And then like I said, when I first started watching 201, I was like, I clicked, I was like, am I on the right thing? Is this P-Valley? And then when I saw what happened, it made sense. But this is a slow moving episode, which is, I think, where people have the issues with it, because the actual content is good. It's just slow, but I learned a lot about Patrice. I learned a lot about all the characters, but I do kind of think maybe it could have been like a 2-part with 1 and 2 or something like that, because then that would have been better if they had played 1, played 2, and then we went into the rest of the season. I think that would have been better, because if I didn't like the show as much as I did, 201, I'd have been like, what the mess? It just wouldn't have drawn me in. So I give it a 3 because I like it, but I do think either a combination of 1 and 2, or like Kogi said, a switch up might have been better to like bring people in. So 3.
Okay.
So just by virtue of where I have it on my list, firmly at number 18, I feel like I have to give it 1 mic. It's Unc's Chicken and President for me. Yeah.
Ooh. I wasn't expecting
that is a first for this show.
It's 18. Well, it's 18 for her, so it has to be a 1.
I feel like I have said so many times how much I just dislike this episode. This episode just does not work for me. You talk about coming from Murder Night and going into this, but coming from Murder Night and having to wait 2 whole years and then watching this, to me, was a great disappointment. It's not terrible, because to me, nothing on this show is terrible. Nothing that Katori Hall does is terrible. But just in comparison, like, watch Snow and watch this, and that's a world of difference. like it's incomparable. And you coming back from 2 years means you do have a lot of things to set up. You got to remind people of some things. We got to try to get on the road to where we're going. So I understand that, but it was just like, and I feel like a lot of people felt that way. The conversation coming into this episode, after this episode on Twitter, was disappointment. Like, what happened to P Valley? Now we got there 2 episodes later, and Katori Hall and then was like, see, you just had to wait. We was gonna get there. I know what I'm doing. I know where I was going. And she was right. But like, baby, it's been 2 years. I feel like it was like a meandering episode. It was slow. And Murder Night was not that. Murder Night had excitement. Like you said, people was fighting, people was shooting, a whole bunch of shit was happening. And then this, I feel like we spent way too much time with Andre. Just too much Andre for my nerves. And then Andre and Haley, like from this, the Andre and Haley interactions here told me that whatever this was with them this season was not gonna give. Because I kind of shifted season 1. They had a great chemistry, I thought. And then here in this episode, when they're outside of the house, that conversation, it went on far too long. There's no chemistry there. It's just like, I don't know what happened, but I agree. So
yeah, I agree with that about that Andre and Haley conversation. It felt disconnected. It felt disconnected.
Their chemistry, whatever chemistry.
I didn't really know what they was talking about.
I'm like, shot me down. Do what? Who?
Not that much. The shot me down was just the intro, but what the fuck are y'all talking about at all?
Yeah.
Okay, Joy.
Okay, Joy.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to be controversial, and I'm going to give it a 5. Because I'm going to give it a 5 just to shake things up, okay?
Oh, honey, you rattling the table, baby.
Yes, I am.
The table.
I mean, honestly, I agree most with what the last girl, your name Jiggy, is Jiggy? Yeah, I agree with what you said. I really do, but like honestly, the problem, one of the issues, or I have more of an issue with P-Valley season 2 as a whole, because to me, it felt like a different season or a different show than season 1. To your point, the last episode of season 1 was so good. We were on a high and we were expecting more of that in episode 1. But if I can look at it as a standalone, then I'm not going to rate it so harshly as to give it a 1. If I'm, I'd say it's about, a 3.5 or a 4 if I'm not, if I'm being more honest. But I think we were so excited, and with Andre and Haley, I was into them season 1, and then I really, really did not care by the time they smashed in season 2. Everybody was over it. I didn't care. And a lot of it was, I really didn't like Andre anymore. Whereas in season 1, he didn't seem as bad, but, I don't know. And a lot of people, they didn't like how they brought the realness of the pandemic into this episode. And I could argue both sides. I think that this episode, it gave the realest, rawest depiction of the pandemic of any unscripted show that I had seen. Absolutely. At the same time, I really enjoyed the escapism of movies and TV, where I'm not really trying to have the pandemic be a part of it. But, it did start out kind of strong with, of course, you got a guy who's dumb talking about he's going to go to 7-Eleven, as if 7-Eleven is going to take so long as you would be at, the car wash, and, that whole scene with the dancers. But then after that, it kind of, definitely kind of fell flat. But I kind of really appreciate how they continued certain storylines with Keyshawn and Derek and Murda and his music and Uncle Clifford. But I personally, my least favorite of season 2 was just when Diamond, like what do they call that? The shit he was doing on Mercedes. Wasn't that episode 2? Where Diamond laid were they calling it root work or something? I forgot what the term is.
Root work.
Okay. For me, I felt like that belonged in a different show, or it belonged somewhere further into the season, because I know people really didn't like that. And it was very confusing, I think, to start off a season introducing that. So season 2 just to me seemed to stray from a lot of what we loved in season 1. However, obviously it picked up the pace, right?
So at the end of it, would you say you thought season 1 was better than season 2?
I enjoyed and I was more entertained by season 1. And then towards the end of season 2, I would put it at the same level of entertainment and enjoyment as season 1. But I feel like the beginning episodes of season 2, they were kind of struggling to find its footing because different things were being introduced in a way that season 1 wasn't, kind of straying from the format, and I love the dancing, and I love, a lot of the issues. Like, I love the colorism. I love the colorism in P-Valley because you don't really see that. I love the domestic violence with, like, it's coming from a white man, whereas a lot of Black people, they're like, oh, I got to get me a white man because he's, so I just love the messages that P-Valley sends out. I really, really do. They're very important at the same time. Like, kind of give us what we want, kind of remember what we want. Don't really bring in the root work, so.
Gotcha. So were you because you hadn't mentioned like Teak or anything. So were you like a fan of them bringing in Teak and that whole story?
Teak was one of the most valuable parts of season 2. I'm glad you reminded me of Teak. Teak was absolutely valuable. Because we're told to go to church and not go to therapy, in our culture. We're told to just like deal with our demons by drinking, smoking, praying, and that's not a solution, especially when, somebody who goes to jail and they dealt with whatever they dealt with, how that's going to affect their mental. So no, I love the heavy topics. I love it. Like I said, I love the domestic violence, the colorism, the suicide, all of that. But I also don't want too many episodes that aren't really involving the girls doing their dancing.
The what I mean? The escapism.
The entertainment, the raw entertainment that brought us in, because that's like what we were all hype about. So it's like you could do both. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then let's not even forget how much Roulette spiced up season 2 with her antics. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what we're here for, to kind of see, oh my God, what's going to happen, even with Pico. Like, I love all that, but I just don't want it to stray too far away from the fun and the entertainment in the dancing and the shit that goes down at the club. Like, even season 1, how that lady spent all her divorce money and shit. Like, P-Valley, it has a lot of humor. It really, really does. I think it's underrated with the humor. And so it's like, yeah, just have a balance. Just have a balance.
I agree. Well, we have a balance of PSR listeners, I think.
Hey family, if you're listening to this on a podcast platform, do us a favor and follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you're on Spotify, make sure you press those 3 dots and hit us with that 5-star rating. If you're on Apple Podcasts and have a little extra time, after rating us 5 stars, leave us a written review as well. If you're watching in full HD on YouTube, rate, subscribe, then tell us what you think in the comments. Last but not least, be sure to check out our website at pinksunday.com for original articles and exclusive content.
All right, you guys. So we have one of our favorite segments coming up, which is Saint or Ain't.
Okay, so in our segment Saint or Ain't, we take a couple of different scenes from the episode and we tell y'all, we pick one person from that scene and we tell you if we think that they are a saint or an ain't based on how they handled it, or just ain't, which means a little bit of both. And there's a couple of them that we actually have both parties we think want to rate if we think they're a saint or an ain't. So the first one is Uncle Clifford and Haley talking about how Uncle Clifford spent the whole, what apparently is $250,000. We still don't know how it's still $250,000 after she done gave Mercedes some money. She done got Mercedes car at an impound. She done all this. We don't know, but now with however it was spent, when we come here, it's $25,000 that we got left. So we trying to figure out, is Uncle Clifford a saint or an ain't for how she spent the apparently $225,000 during this panini? So, Ja, what you think?
Ooh, I don't want to come at my sis top like this, but sis is a little reckless with how she spent some of these monies. The math is not mathing. Now, I want to give her a saint only because I respect instead of being like, this is a business, so we ain't open. Fuck you. That's I don't know what you're gonna do about that. I respect being like, hey, I got, like she said, I trying to put the bread in their pocket so they ain't bobbing and weaving for a living while we, sticking shut in. You know what I'm saying? So, but you buying Birkins, you buying 150 fucking bottles of Crown Royal and shit, you sewing materials or whatever the fuck you was doing like during that time. You were mad irresponsible when this was not what that money was for. So I gotta give our good uncle ain't with the more leaning toward the ain't.
More leaning towards ain't, all right.
I hate to do it.
Go ahead, Jiggy.
I'm conflicted. Because I want to give my uncle a saint, because if you give her $250,000 damn dollars, whatever happened to the $250,000 happened. Because why would you do that? Why would you give her $250,000? That don't make no sense to me. You a damn fool.
What?
Which if you got $250,000, you just gonna hand it to Uncle Clifford? No, ma'am.
So okay, Jiggy.
But
especially since the money is in play because she was irresponsible prior to you coming through the door.
That's why you need to give her the 200. That's why you in this predicament. That's why you had to stay at the club and you just gonna turn around and just hand her 250. No, ma'am. But like, okay, she bought some Birkins, but so did Haley. Haley, where does money come? I'm not understanding the math. I thought it was $250. $250,000 is what she had. Completely. So you saved the club and the $250,000 is gone, but there's another $250,000 for Unc, and there's money for Haley to be buying Birkins and shit. So
you said $190,000. Didn't she say something about 190? Because I was looking at it again this morning.
$55,000 went to pay the lien or the loan
and the lien. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that took them down to the 195, 190, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. But how did she even of the money at the auction?
That's what
the $250,000 was to save the paint, right?
Oh, because when she put it in, so how auctions work, she bought the paint with the money. So now I guess the money went into the paint's bank account when she bought it, because it didn't go to the auction. Child, anyway, I be in fantasy land with P Valley. So in fantasy land, it was $500,000. All right, it was $500,000 somewhere.
That's the only way to make
$500,000.
Because that's some old little bank account somewhere. They just didn't talk about it.
To get back to the point, for me, my uncle is a saint because you should have never gave her no damn $250,000 in the first place. I don't care. I said what I said.
Okay,
you can go find a way to make our good sister a saint.
Y'all not gonna do my uncle. No man.
I mean, you know, it's just unfortunate for all parties. Period. You know, it's really unfortunate because Haley, you know, with all whatever happened to the money, you know, Haley is now living with Sadie's. You know, we lost Monte, you know, Cliff is paying everybody bills, but you know, she making sure she keeping her finery with the Birkins. And I guess in a way she the club owner, so she got to make sure she keeping it cute. Which is a part of the look, you know, she's a club owner. She got to make sure, you know, the presence is there. I mean, she can't look broke. You know, what she look like? She the
in a
owner.
panini press, girl.
Ain't no club open. All you
But
gotta do
she-
is wear your car
Where was
wash.
she going in a panini
finery.
press?
That's it.
But she still have to look presentable. Okay, like she still
the
has to
Birkin-
look good. I mean, they still had a car wash. Like
She did it the Birkin for the car wash, is what you saying?
Neither one of them didn't need no damn Birkins. Let's be for real.
They did not. Down to the dollar store.
Wait, I gotta put this up.
I was going to.
Just saying they should have fixed that damn bathroom. And should have. It's a whole lot
That
of
should
stuff
have been the
that
first
kitchen.
thing.
That
Ooh,
kitchen, that bathroom, it's a
child.
whole lot of stuff. The nasty couches, it's a whole lot of stuff that needed to be fixed at the paint.
Oh Lord, have mercy. You know, but at the end of the day, I think she was just making sure that her Corona Couture, the whole look was on point. She had to have her Corona Couture, her Corona finery on point. So I think at the end of the day, nobody's a saint and nobody's an ain't. All parties were just trying to do the best that they could. So I'm just gonna be neutral. And
So
move
the
on.
ain't in the middle.
You know, I don't even think that exists at this point. I think I'm just gonna remain neutral so I don't catch any kind of criticism for my choices. Joy, how about you, my dear?
Uncle Clifford likes to burn her money, so I gotta say 8.
Okay.
Okay.
That was short and sweet.
Straight
Okay.
to the point.
Right.
Yeah,
Period.
Because I think I could talk too much. I think sometimes I could talk too much.
Fine.
So that's why.
We some talkers, so you can talk if you got more to say.
No, but that's really just how Uncle Clifford likes to spend her money. So, Autumn was way too trusting.
Absolutely.
This is very true. Yeah.
I want to say, I have to say it's an ain't, because I agree with Ja that I like the fact that my good sis like thought about the girls, like what she always does, which is kind of good and bad, as we've seen, because I feel like she's made some bad decisions from thinking of the girls, but I feel like she's made some good, and in this they're family. So Uncle Clifford, there is no world where she's gonna let them, you know, she's like had to keep them fed because they have to get no head. Like she don't want to see her girls be around, or somebody turns up dead because they had to go out tricking and doing some stuff, or get
But then next episode she got head. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That doesn't count. But she did.
She did.
Knobs were slobbed.
Was.
But so I think that's good. But like what you saying, Koji, like, yes, she has to look good. When has my good sis not look good? She looked just as good in her couture as she could look in her Birkin couture. Like,
you're right.
Even the thought, we just saved the club from ruin. We were dressed up to go to his funeral. We got it back. We got like the Rona comes ripping through that bitch, but we not totally broke. So we got enough to try to figure out to build the car wash. And you like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a Birkin. What?
She was depression, okay?
Yes, exactly. She was
COVID
depressed.
2020, and her man was acting a donkey. She was depressed.
Everybody was shopping too online. Remember, everybody was doing.
That's where she bought the Birkin.
Not me, but
online.
everybody else was.
You know, because
so probably.
You
The
know,
outlet was full. I don't know if they sell Birkins in the outlet.
There's actually a waiting list for Birkins, so she probably bought it on like Poshmark or something.
Exactly.
It was a Birkini.
It was a
Birkle. It was a Birklet, if you will.
But like, how do you even think you talking about like a 30, 40? So you got it on Poshmark. You talking about 20,000. 30,000, because if you go to the store, it's like 60 minimally. So how does your mind even get there to like, we just saved the club from utter ruin.
Oh my God.
We just Rona's coming ripping through this bitch, and you know what? I'm gonna go get me a Birkin.
Remember, she had been drinking Crown Royal, so she probably was.
I'm giving her a pass on the Crown because she was depression. Like the Crown is frivolous and reckless as well. But like the way that murder broke her heart, like I can shoot her some bail on the Crown. 150 some bottles is too much.
That's a lot.
But I can shoot her some bail because I see how she got there. The Birkin, no, ma'am.
Girl, look at what girl. Please drag this comment in this thing. Lord Jesus help.
Oh shoot. We be doing it at the same time. Go ahead.
Kendra. The Birkin and Crown was a replacement for being dickless for months.
And that's why she has
probably
the ain't part of the ain't, because still I understand, but I don't agree. I understand how you
should have just bought a rose
dickless.
and called it a day. I don't know how she would use it, but I'm just saying.
Well, they have a male rose. They got one. They got some things where you can buy them and do some stuff.
Put a flashlight or something.
They look just like a booty. They look just like a booty. She could have. Like, it's some things. It didn't have to be a motherfucking Birkin. I know that. Like shit, I know that. So
conversation has gone off the rails. I just want to say, I gotta defend my sister. Whatever her thought process was in buying Miss Birkin, Haley had the same fucking thought process because she got one too. And we don't ever give Haley what we give Unc for having that Birkin. Haley down to the damn dollar store or wherever she was with a Birkin talking to Keyshawn. So
touche. But it's always fuck.
Okay, so baby Andre and Brittany, child. Oh Lord.
So our center ain't for Andre and Brittany. So they fought a little bit, and that's home because Andre wanted to come to the Fume back at Chuckalisa in the middle of a panorama. And Brittany, being in healthcare, was like, it's too dangerous. You shouldn't go. But the Fume was for Andre's goddaddy, which, as we have learned, is like his second father or first father. It seemed like,
or his real father.
Yeah, or that. Because, you know, him and his sis, Uncle Clifford. But so do we think both of these people, is Andre a saint or ain't for going, insisting that he goes to the funeral, and is Brittany a saint or ain't for telling him not to go?
I mean, you know, for me, it's like being in healthcare. I mean, I think Brittany was a saint because she really was just trying to be cautious. Even funerals is a gathering that, I mean, and we even saw like how funerals, weddings, receptions, they were just coming back out of that with positive COVID tests out of it. So, I mean, I can just understand where she was coming from. Like, I didn't attend nothing at all. No thanks. I don't care who died. Send my condolences. I'm sorry.
Prayers prayers, sorrows.
I love, but I just can't, like, it was just so, you were just so cautious. It was just so much, so I think Brittany was a saint. I have empathy for Andre. And I can understand 100%. So it's like I have to give a double saint, if you will, almost, because like Andre is a saint for wanting to go somewhere despite of that. It's like he's willing to risk getting COVID. He's being cautious, but he's willing to go there because that is his family. So I understand both sides. I give them both the same, but at the same time, it's like, goddamn, Brittany, really? You was get on your knees and you end up fucking the other man. Child, okay. Damn, that's fucked up. So then she get an 8.
Couple episodes.
I know, but then I get pissed at her for what she did in the end. But yeah, okay, go on.
Don't do Dr. Seagram Watkins, please.
Suck a dick, MD.
So I think I have to give them both saints. I think Andre is an ain't for other reasons in this scene, but not because he wants to go and pay his respect to, from what I can tell, was the closest father he had. Of course he wants to go do that. And Brittany is dealing with COVID day in and day out. She's doing everything she can to make sure that she doesn't bring it home. So of course she's going to be like, you cannot go to this large gathering and possibly contract COVID because I see the ravages of it every day. No, absolutely not. So I get where both of them are coming from. So for me, they're both saints. They were both right. And I think Andre took all the precautions that he could because we see him in Chuckalita. He got his N95s on. He's trying to stay 6 feet. He's doing everything he can while he pays.
Definitely.
So
definitely.
Joy, what you think?
I don't know. First of all, I think that Brittany had every right to cheat. So I don't know. You mentioned her cheating, and I was like, she needs to be cheating. She needed to cheat. She's dating Andre. Andre, they're tossing her on the table, effing her, telling her he got to take a shower afterwards. Andre was treating her wrong for a while. So go ahead and cheat.
Wait, Joy. Wait, baby. Not you saying they dating. Baby, they married. They're married.
Or married. I know they're married. That's what I'm saying. Or sorry if I said dating, but I'm like, Andre was treating her like a random. Like after they had sex on the desk, on the table in the hotel.
That part.
He just threw her on the table and then he's like, I gotta go shower. He said that right after.
That was nasty work for sure.
Yeah, so it's like, go ahead and cheat, and I'm sure she's with that guy today too. I want a follow up.
Yep.
We need a follow up, Katori.
She teabagging and gagging. We know.
Yeah, like go ahead. Go ahead now. Okay. So, but yeah, I mean, you can't tell somebody not to go to basically their dad's funeral. And so it's just a situation where they would just have to take extra precautions. That's how I see it. Like if anything, he could quarantine because she was already taking precautions every single time she came in from work, which is where we really saw the breakdown of what healthcare workers were going through who were also living with other people, with her taking her shower, her very bruised up face. So it's like, yeah, she had to let him go. But then if anything, he could just social distance when he gets back. And I like how she was like, go early. You know what I mean? To the wake because she didn't want him around other people. So basically, she did what was right. And I like, though, P-Valley wouldn't be real if he said, I want to go to this funeral. And she was like, okay, have fun. You know what I mean? So, you kind of have to credit the writers for that, for just showing, especially for healthcare workers and what they were exposed to every day. They're going to oppose that.
Right.
But she knew that she had to let him go. So it was great.
Okay. Yeah, Oh, that was so funny to me. Okay, Ja.
So I feel like they both made points, right? Exactly. Andre wants to go. Like, what would you, like you said, you hear the person, your godfather, the person who's like a father, who's probably your father, who 9 times out of 10, 99.9% or whatever is your daddy, died suddenly.
Okay, Maury.
You know what I'm saying? And suddenly, like, you're on bad terms. Like, all in the moment, it's like, absolutely, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even thinking about it. But I gotta give Dr. McStuffme a little bit of a little teacher ache, because she makes some points, and I understand. I sympathize with her. I definitely understand, because she making the points and making sense. But she didn't even give the motherfucker half-ass condolences. She was like, "You wanna know how my day was?" Bitch, no. My goddaddy died. I don't give a fuck how your day was. Can I have a moment? Can I have 5 seconds to grieve? Little bitch, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're right.
But I can't say she's an ain't, because being in that position, if I were in that position, like you said, I just came home from 7 people dying, 11 people died yesterday. All I'm gonna see is you going to it with we didn't have that term at the time, a super spreader event, you know, and I'm not even worried. She's probably not even thinking about you gonna bring it home to me. She's thinking I'm gonna lose my husband. You know, so I mean, I understand, but damn, girl, get a boy 5 seconds to grieve. Let him get a tear welled up in the corner before you start going bananas. They should have had a sensible conversation where they weighed the pros and cons and then move forward how they saw fit. So they both get a whatever.
So, like everybody, I give them both saints because I think they were both approaching this based on their own realities. Like how Kogi said, like if you were in healthcare, it's one thing being outside of healthcare during the panini, but if you're in healthcare, seeing it day in and day out, you go into a room and somebody's fine, then you walk down and all of a sudden they code, the same person that looked like they were on the upswing suddenly is dying or dead, and you see that enough times during the day. Like she said, like the reason why I said it was good because I didn't lose as many people today as I did yesterday. So she's coming from her reality, and like Josh said, she don't want to lose her husband, because whatever we think of Andre's fuckboy behaviors, for whatever reason, Brittany loved this man, so she don't want him to die and go away. But I'm on Andre's side too. You're not gonna tell me I can't go to my daddy's funeral. Like, I don't care what's happening, I'm going. Like, and I think during the pandemic, we saw some of that, like with the Zoom funerals and stuff like that. But then you would see some people there because it's like, this is my dad, this is my mom, this is my grandmother that raised me, this is my brother who I grew up with, this is my cousin. There's some people that are going to be there no matter what's going on with the pandemic. What they say now, is that like a good decision? I don't know, but I can totally get with you're going to be there. So I think they were both saints because they're both operating from their own realities. Because Andre is not in the healthcare system, he's not seeing what she's seeing. He at home playing video games. So on some level, to him, everything fine because he's not out in the world dealing with it. Like even just going to the store. If you went to the store, if you have like a local store by your house and you have the person that checks you out, and then literally you come there and they're sick, and then maybe you come back again and they passed away. Andre's not even doing that because he's pretty much staying in the house, which is a blessing that he was able to do that. But he was able to do that because his wife is going on the front lines. So both of their realities are valid, and they're so I think that they're both saints.
All right. Okay, so Mercedes, what do y'all think? Mercedes wanting more money than the other dancers because she's the draw.
Her milkshake bring all the boys to the yard.
Yeah, her milkshake, baby. She is snatching off her wig, and Unc say, "Get back out there, girl.
Get back out here and work.
Get back." Get back. Ooh, baby. I know she was tired. Ooh, child. Poor Mercedes. So she said her milkshake, her little dancing is making them all come to the car wash. Okay, so she a saint, she a ain't.
Go ahead, Jiggy.
Yeah, Jiggy. Yeah, Jiggy. You lead us off because the way you twirling them braids, honey.
You on mute, Jiggy. You're on mute.
That's great because I haven't said anything yet. So, she's not lying. Like at the bottom of that sign, it says the Mercedes experience is $100 in that car wash. Now, does Mercedes in the Mercedes experience not receive more money than Toy? Like she said, what she does and what Toy does ain't no kind of equivalent.
No kind.
So how in God's green earth are her and Toy getting the same cut? No, ma'am. Like, you're gonna have to run me a couple more coins because I'm doing more work. What is Haley doing? Like, is Haley dancing? How does everybody get the same cut? Big L over there burning wings. That's all he does. But he getting the same money as I am doing the Mercedes experience. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. To me, she was 100% right. Now she was doing too much on Toy, and they should just let them tussle because that was a lot. But she deserves her coins.
But how was it in the negative though?
Because she's doing mortgages. She got multiple mortgages. She picked up that gym right after the pandemic started or during the pandemic, and now you got to pay that bill.
Like I said, she should have leased that and broke her lease.
Yeah, but I'm saying like how she did. She was like, "Am I not getting out my Skrilla?" Like it was almost like she forgot she had all this stuff that she had to pay.
Well, we know she don't know how to manage no money either.
Yeah,
she take after her pseudo mama Uncle Clifford.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna have to slide up in here because here's the thing. I wanted to initially come in here and just be like, same thing. Mercedes is 100%, but she's not. I'm gonna say why. Yes, she is the draw. And yes, they are coming to see her bounce up and down on that pony. And she was given all the things. I wanted to throw my money at the TV screen during that performance. However, the other girls are washing cars. They're doing manual fucking labor. They made it look sexy. God. But at the end of the day, these hoes is washing cars, okay? They are scrubbing the dirt off of tires, rubbing their titties all over the glass, hanging off the top down into the goddamn sunroof and shit. They are doing some manual labor, and they deserve to be paid a fair wage. Didn't we just get you talking about that shit?
You so right, John.
Oh my God, I didn't think about that
at all.
You know what?
Oh my God.
You know what? That is very fucking true, John.
Oh my God.
Now for Haley just standing there looking light-skinned in that booth, collecting a few dollars here and there, she could have took a pay cut.
You
but
sure
the rest
right,
of them girls
baby,
are washing
them
cars.
areolas are getting dirt off windows.
Could you imagine your cooch is semi-exposed, but you squatting down by somebody's dirty ass tires?
Baby. No, ma'am. I know that's right.
You gonna need a douche just like the paint did.
Girl, you were showing right, girl. I didn't even think about that.
So anyway, those are my thoughts.
So that changed my answer.
Reevaluate, y'all.
I think so. Based on what y'all just said, because my initial thing was like, yeah, she doing more. It's a Mercedes experience, all that, but we don't have nothing to get to the Mercedes experience and Mercedes if the other girls weren't doing what they were doing, whether it's twerking, whether it's this, whether it's that, because like there is no Pussyland if you don't have everybody else. Now, should Big L and Haley get the same cut? That's another discussion for another day. No. Especially Haley, you out here buying Birkins. Girl, if you don't sell that Birkin and get the hell on, like, no. And I don't know what Big L's like stuff is, what he does, but he's also the plug. Like they don't know that, but we know. And like dope didn't stop getting slung in the panini. Like, so Big L is still getting money. So like, nobody knows that, but Big L should have manned up and been like, hey y'all, I don't need all that. I want the girls to get it or something like that, because he got this money over here and these girls ain't doing that. Again, Haley, sell your Birkin. But the other girls in the middle, like, I don't know if I should give her a ain't. I might have to give her an ain't, y'all, and that's not what I was planning, because yes, her performance is bringing them, but she couldn't do what she does without everybody else's contribution. So damn, I gotta give her an ain't.
Okay.
Oh yeah, baby.
I don't know. You guys are clearing it. Like, I don't know.
Girl, listen, Joy, I told you when you said you be critiquing, I said, girl, we do too.
Oh, shit. I mean, at first I was like, yes, run Mercedes her money. Don't be like Patrice. That's what she worked for. That's what she earned.
Yep.
But now I'm like, okay, she does just kind of get up on there and just get to be sexy. And the other girls are really washing the cars the whole time. Like, if you think about it that way, like, not everybody is paying for the Mercedes experience. And when they don't have the Mercedes experience, she's just there chilling. She's just there doing what she wants, scrolling on her phone. And the other girls are there washing the cars with their tits out. So, I mean, okay, but why is y'all saying all this and they didn't say it in the episode? This is what they should have said. This is what they should have said.
Baby, listen, she should have
were
said
in shock. So I was like, what you mean, my non-polar ass? Bitch, you don't get on the phone. What you talking about?
Peanut butter should have straight up said, baby, my areolas are rubbing this dirt off, bitch. Pay me my motherfucking stacks.
No, I thought that the bitches I thought that they were hating. When I watched it, I thought that they were being haters. And now, look at how y'all expose the truth in this episode. And now I'm like, damn, how come I didn't think about it that way? How come only 1 out of 5 of us saw it for what it is? So shout out to you for recognizing it.
Come on, Ja. Come on.
I mean,
Josh saw them greasy elbows not getting no check.
Kendra from YouTube said, Kayology from YouTube said, plus Toy was washing cars and backbending to introduce Mercedes. So I get what Mercedes is saying, but Toy was doing her extra too, even though she wasn't on the pole. And Tao, the movement and rehabilitation coordinator for P-Valley, said that the Pussyland scene was beautiful art. We didn't actually get the whole thing because they had to cut it out for time, but it was stunning. I don't know, Tao, you think we would think differently if we saw the whole thing, or Mercedes still was tripping? Yeah, let us know in the comments if you think that Mercedes was tripping if we saw the whole thing.
I wanna add though, remember, Mercedes is negative 120 in the bank. And so if she wasn't negative 120 in the bank, maybe she wouldn't have been asking for more coins.
Yeah.
But I also want to say, just to everybody listening, one of my life hacks is you have to have 2 bank accounts. So if you overdrawn at one, you still got access to money in the other. Okay? So I'm with the regular bank and I'm with the credit union. So I ain't never give a shit if I'm overdrawn in one of my accounts, because I can still get to my money at a different account. Everybody needs to have 2 accounts so that once you're in the red, you can still be out here spending money. Okay. And you put some money in one account, some in the other, so you are never at a negative in 2 accounts. Okay, you're welcome.
This is an educational show. We stress that often.
You won't be like Mercedes over here trying to get no extra money.
Oh my God. Okay, well, you know what? I can sure use a little music. Who needs some music, Tim?
The father of Black Gay Cinema, Patrick Ian Polk is looking for indie music for one of his upcoming projects. Make sure it's competitively priced and easy to clear. Then submit with all pertinent credits to noahsmusicsubmission@gmail.com.
All right. Make sure
I don't have a image for this next segment, so we can just talk and go through it.
Okay.
Either.
What you say, Ja?
Oh, you might be about to say what I was about to say.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so our next segment, our fans of okay, so you wasn't about to say it. Come on, Ja.
Well, did y'all Tal responded with what you said, and I
Oh.
thought,
oh, did he?
Did he? I didn't see it.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, you got it.
Go ahead, Ja. Read it.
Oh, okay. It says he said, "Oh, not me accidentally putting it down because this thing was in my way and I couldn't read it." Okay, shit. Okay, what do y'all put it up? Every time because there's a box in front of it. Every time I move it, it takes the whole thing away. Okay. She was feeling herself a bit, but those other girls put on a show of their own. It was a neon-infused, sexy, rubber-walled music video. I really hope that footage is released one day. Ooh,
we need more behind the scenes. For sure. Like, I need all the behind the scenes.
100%.
Absolutely.
That's one thing I miss about DVD releases for shows. They always had that extra behind the scenes, extra interviews, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, okay, so we have our segment sound offs back. I mean, I miss these. So we asked Pink Posse to give us their ratings. So who we got first, Tia?
We have Nay first, and these are Nay's top 5 episodes.
It's Nay, and my top 5 in no particular order is 210, 209, 203, 107, and 102.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So 107, Last Call for Alcohol, 102, Scars.
Can we hear that one more time? Can you play that one more again?
Mm-hmm.
It's Nay, and my top 5 in no particular order is 210, 209, 203, 107, and 102.
Okay.
So 102 in the top 5 is a surprise to me. Do y'all have is Scars high like that for any of y'all?
102 is Scars. So I don't have 102 in my top 5.
Not that high. Now, it could possibly, I haven't done my 18 yet. It could possibly be in my top 10. But my top 5,
no.
Okay.
All right, then.
Let's go to Kendra's.
Hey, ladies. So this week's sound off of my top 5 episodes of P-Valley. Dang, this is hard, but I'm going to say this is in no particular order. I'm going to say 104, 108, 210, 29, and my last one would be 207.
The fact that 203.
Hey, ladies, so this week's sound off.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I forgot to pause. Go ahead.
I
These ones I have to actively pause. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'll listen to some more. I'm just trying to see if 203 is in a lot of people's top. Go ahead.
So y'all in this no particular order.
Myself because I'm listening. I'm putting them in whatever order.
Whatever order you tell me, that's the order I'm putting it in.
That's the order.
Yep.
the 207 being in the top 5. Now we went over this when we did like the rate the episode before.
Mhm.
That's the one that's surprising me. I don't remember 104 like that. What's the name of
That was the
104?
Trap. I think for
The
most
Trap.
of us that was pretty high. The Trap.
Remember
is,
that was like
Okay,
a 5 episode.
Yeah. Okay. The only one that's surprising to me about that one is 207.
Is
Now I
Jackson.
like 207. Top 5? I don't know, but I do like 207. So okay, but like I said, I'm putting them in order. So as far as
Yep.
I'm concerned, 104 is your number one, Kendra, because I can't do the no particular order and try to figure out where the stuff is supposed to go. So this is Trails.
It's your girl Trell. My top 5 P-Valley episodes, I'm gonna say starting with number 5 is 107, just because that was a really romantic episode, and I loved how romantic Murder showed Unc he can be. For number 4, I'm gonna say 105, just because I really loved that episode, because he made her take a chance with him and was telling her, it's a first time for everything, and I love that. And for number 3, I'm gonna say 104, because that's when his music got played in the club, and that's the episode where him and had their little first time together or whatever. For number 2, I'm gonna say 209, because that's the episode with Megan Thee Stallion. I just really love Megan Thee Stallion, and then plus my aunt, she was just looking good as hell with her braid and outfit. And then 210, because 210 is number 1, because that's the episode where Uncle Myrtle, got their happily ever after for now. So, yep, those are my top 5 episodes.
Okay, can I just say shout out to Trail for breaking it down with her reasons.
That was perfect. Yes,
it was just.
Sorry. My ADHD kicked in. My bad.
That was so good though. That was so good. Oh my God, that was so good, John. But yeah, I love that. I love that. So shout out to you, Trail.
I think that was a great list too. Like
that was good.
That's not how my list looked, but I have no issues with where any of that is in those.
I do find 210 being number 1 a bit out there. I definitely see
a lot of people do. A lot of people, and it might be recency bias because that's the last thing we watched, and there's so many things they love. But
well, I think what we love, because I know for me, I came in. I think I told you I came to 210 like nervous as hell. Like I'm thinking, I thought Murder was finna get killed. I thought Keyshawn had killed Derek, or no,
not killed.
I'm sorry, I thought Derek had killed the kids, and that Keyshawn had found the kids. Because y'all know the on the trailer going into 210 that when she pulled that tarp off of the car, it was what looked like blood on the steering wheel. So my crazy mind was like, Derek found out she was leaving, killed the kids. She sees them, then she goes in and Derek like kills himself in front. Like this, I had a whole thing. But when in the preview she was screaming, like they just showed her screaming, and so that's why I thought so. I went into 210 so freaking nervous. So what actually happened was a relief compared to what I thought. So I do see it, and the like murder coming out, like, because I did not think that was happening in 210. I thought it was going to be a cliffhanger and we was come in. So when it happened, I was like, holy crap.
That's funny. Kendra, those were my favorite episodes, not so much my top 5.
Girl.
She said I haven't did my official list yet. Sorry.
That's okay. We don't go on top 5 again. Joy, what you think of some of these lists?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I agree. Seeing the very last episode of the second season, it does stay with you. But I don't know. I think people have their own personal reasons for liking the episodes, and I guess that applies to everyone when they're talking about like romance or whatever. I don't know if those necessarily would be my reasons, but I love the variety from your listenership. I love how they have their own reasons for liking what they like. Even I'm not so sure I agree with any of the lists, but I love their reasons.
Okay, we got 3 more lists. Let's see if you agree with any of these.
That's funny.
This is Jeanette's list.
Hi guys. So my top 5 P-Valley episodes would have to be season 1 episode 4, The Trap, season 1 episode 5, Belly, season 1 episode 7, Last Call for Alcohol, and then for season 2 I would have to say season 2 episode 9, Snow, and season 2 episode 10. These.
Okay, so like 209 is like standing tall. I don't think, have we had a list yet that don't have 209? I don't think, is it anyone's list? I don't have them written down like you. I don't think nobody's list doesn't have 209. And I mean, I agree with 209 being in anybody's top 5 because, man, Snow gave everything it was supposed to have. Gave.
Yep.
I think it's interesting, all of the first season episodes. I think that there hasn't been quite as many. Oh, no. A couple of them have. 105 Belly. Is that something y'all would put in your top 5, Belly?
Not for me. I think when we did that, I feel like I gave it. Did I give it 2.5 stars? I feel like I gave Belly a pretty low rating when we did that. So
4, I think that was mac and cheese Big L. I can't remember.
On my list, Belly's 14. So these people have Belly in the top 5.
You know,
damn,
Jiggy, baby,
to do my
Jiggy is
list
hardcore with her list. She do not play.
I like Belly.
Belly's
but
not in my top 5.
Not top 5. But I like it.
It's in my top 10.
I'm
It's a
trying to see
comfort
if it's
episode
top
sometimes.
10 or bottom 8. And I don't know until I actually sit down and do it. If it's
That's
bottom
what I'm
8, it's at the top of the bottom 8.
Right.
Like it's number 11 if I put it
That's
in the
what I'm
bottom 8.
yeah.
But I'm trying to think, would it be 10 or 9 in my top 10?
That's what I'm saying. It's like 9
Why it's
or
not
10.
9 and 9? I think my OCD kicked in. Why it's not 9 and 9? You spell my top 10 and my bottom 8. But right down the middle is 9 and 9. It's like your bottom 9 and your top 9.
I was like, I think you're right. You're right.
The numbers, the geometry started flipping around.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
It should be 9 and 9.
You're right,
Yeah.
though. Embarrassing.
I'm sorry.
Let's go on. Let's go. John has been getting us together all episode. Let's go.
Yes.
Right. You're right, Brian.
Okay, so here is my top 5 episodes.
Okay.
The first
We
one,
got one more.
209. I like 209 because of Tina Snow. I also like it because of Get It on the Floor with her and my boy Lil Murda. But I also like it because of that kitchen scene at the beginning. Like, why did they have to cut it? But we're going to talk about that later. My next episode is 210. I like 210 because LaMarcus, he walks in his light with Cliff, and it's so, and how he wrapped his arms around her. Ooh, child. My next one is 107. I like 107 a lot because he took my good sis to go see them stars. He put them battery operated lights in that car, and he just set the moon with the pecan whiskey, and oh child, everything was just pitch perfect. My next episode is 203. I like 203 because, that's the start of the Dirty Dozen tour. And then, Cliff Little performance on the pole that I wish Murda got to see. But, yeah. But I also like it because of Champagne Campaign. And I love the conversation that Keyshawn and Lil Murda have when he be like, oh, that's the only thought That was just too cute to me. And my last episode is 106. I like 106 because, you know, the introduction of grandmother. Yeah, I like that. And then I like how him and Cliff was talking and whatnot. And then he finally get to meet grandmother, and they go on their little first date in the living room, even though grandmother cooked them dried up neck bones. But we not gonna speak on that.
Girl,
Who was that
that's
JT.
JT. Girl, that's the most animated, descriptive.
I felt like she needed a shower after that voice.
Baby, the way
cold
she
one.
was hot,
A cigarette.
baby, it was given sipping on wine and oh, girl.
Now, this is the first time 106 has gotten some love, and I'm not mad at it.
You not?
I'm not. Because I'm not mad. Like the introduction of grandmother, that part, I think, like that was like, I was like, Loretta Devine. Like when it came in, the dates, a lot of that. It's not an episode that comes up much in my top episodes, but I thoroughly enjoy it every time I watch it. So I'm not mad at it being up that high. Again, top 9, bottom 9, Ja. I don't know which side it would go on mine, but I'm not mad at it.
For me, Legacy is firmly in the bottom 9. Like low bottom 9, maybe bottom 3. Like seeing the date with Murda and Unc and Grandmother Ernestine is the highlight of the episode. It's like Higher Ground. That's another setup episode. I think back to it and not much happens there. It's the one. That was Higher. Like I can't even tell you what else happens in that episode other than that. So for me, it's probably like 15, 16, somewhere down there.
Yeah,
I agree.
It is in the bottom.
All right, we got one more. It's John Quill. It's a layer one.
My top 5 P-Valley episodes. Number 1, The Trap. Number 2, Last Call for Alcohol. Number 3, Murder Night. Number 4, Jackson. Number 5, Snow.
Okay.
Jackson's 207, right?
Yep.
Okay, so more love for 207.
A little bit of Jackson love.
So I think that the theme of a lot of the top has to do with the relationship between Cliff and Murda, obviously. So a lot of these are going to be ones that have Cliff and Murda romantic scenes and love scenes and episodes where they stand in the light, which makes sense. I guess for me, 203 is one of, again, this is an episode that I can rerun over and over and over because it is so complete. Like it has so many things going on, but somehow it seems cohesive. Like nothing seems out of place. Like I'm not going, why the fuck is this in this episode? Nothing is together. It literally makes no sense. It's like a fucking movie in a 1-hour episode or 45 minutes or whatever, 52, whatever. But it's literally like a fucking movie. How are we on tour and it's a fucking video? How do you have a music video inside of an episode and we got Unc with her ass out she on the fucking pole. We got a whole motherfucking tour. Like it is so much going on in this episode. Like the fuck. We got Teak. So
that intro was perfect.
Everything was just so perfect in 203. So every time somebody does not mention 203 in their top 5, I'm just so shocked and plus it's so cohesive because all the characters are in it. You know what I'm saying? You know how like a lot of episodes they have main characters that are just predominantly in the episode. You may not see the other characters at all, so they don't give them no kind of love. But somehow this episode has all the fucking characters in the show and
In
makes
that
it
episode.
memorable.
Yep.
And makes it memorable. You have Rome, like everybody is in this motherfucker. How is this memorable? Like, I don't know.
I think when I look at the list, I look for Snow in your top 5, because to me it should be number 1. To me, that's the most perfect episode of the series, Snow. And I look for the Dirty Dozen just for the watchability. I said that when we watched it, watchability. For me, you can put it on, you don't got to turn it off. Just press replay and let's watch it again. For me, in my top 5, something that nobody has, looking at the rest of these lists, is Demetrius. I put 204 at number 5 for me. It's
for sure
such a great episode. To me, it's the best acted episode of the series. Like, they acted down in this one and 206. Well, 206, I don't put as high because of the watchability. It's not something that I could return to. So that lowers it in my list. But Demetrius and Savage, that's 206, right?
206.
Yeah, those episodes go hand in hand. And the acting is outstanding on those. So that puts Demetrius in my top 5. I wanted to ask Joy, is there something that you have in your top 5 that none of these people mention? Something that you really love that it seems like no one else does?
Can I plead the fifth? No, basically, like y'all be in the episodes more than me, so I can't really chime in too much on this because you guys keep naming all the episodes by the name and I don't know which ones those are. So I'm just like very lost. But you talk about Demetrius, and I remember I liked that episode, but I'm like, but what goes down in that episode? You know, all I can say is though that Alphonse, whatever he go by, he's so good. Like his acting, superb. So I don't know, like I do like the episode where Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda fuck. Is that Demetrius?
That's the trap.
That's Jackson. Wait, well, Sue.
No, when they fuck like the same. Okay, when they fuck, I mean, it was beautiful. It was romantic, and it was all intentional. They didn't want it to be dirty. They didn't want anybody to be in their homophobia. They just want people to see two people in love. And it was just so moving. Like you remember that. Like the teeth love scene was different, you know. It was still moving, but it was different. But I would have to say that is one of mine, but I can't really get into the top 5. And I looked this morning how I was supposed to discuss my favorite one. I can't really go into that objectively, you know, considering I haven't seen the episodes in a while. But I really trust Jiggy's opinion. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've agreed with her all day. So I co-sign what she says, even if I don't agree. But I'm going to say right now, I agree. Because so far it's been all hits from you. So but I just have some quick questions because you guys know the show so well. 2 very quick questions. The first, in this episode, Pussyland, why did Wody pop out of the casket?
Ciao.
I put on Twitter last night that there's nothing y'all can say to convince me that he needed to have his ass in this casket. Cause for what, girl? No, ma'am. Absolutely not.
Look, when you motherfucking tired, you lay down
anywhere.
Around. I'm
so
not
I have
get in
said
the
this
casket and close the
before.
top.
I have a friend whose her family owns a funeral home.
Yeah, you have said
And
that.
I remember the first time I went and like visited her, I didn't know what's because they're in Saginaw, Michigan, which is outside of Detroit. So we do this road trip up to her house, and because it's like we're gonna go to Detroit, then we're gonna go to Canada, stuff like that. So I know she owns a funeral home, but I don't expect what I have coming up. So we pull up. Now, mind you, it's Saginaw. It's abandoned building. Then their funeral home is like the freaking Taj Mahal in the middle of all this poverty. But then we get up and I'm like, so where's your house? And she was like, oh, it's at the top. Like, we got to go through the funeral home to get to the thing. And it's like, we go through it and she's just like skipping through. The rest of us are like, it's another casket. It's a casket over there. Okay. And you go up and it's separated then. But she used to do shit like that. Like, she would just get in the caskets, she was so, then, they have where they do the formaldehyde, like prepare the bodies.
Yeah.
She's all in there and stuff like that. And we like, ugh. But she grew up with it, so she's used to it. So for me personally, yes, it's crazy. It's no way that Wodie's sleeping in this casket isn't crazy. But it made me instantly think of her. And I was like, I see how he got there, because to him, he grew up doing this. That. Now, I don't know what Katori and them wanted us to do. Popping out of the casket. And
that jump scare.
Yeah, and he talks about that, I think, in the keynote he gave to that high school. He actually talked about like being kind of nervous about that scene, but then when he completed it, everybody gave him his like props on actually completing it, because they was probably like, I wouldn't have got in no damn casket. They probably didn't say that to him, but that's probably what they're thinking. So I don't know. What was your other one? What's your other questions, Joy?
The other question is, I don't really think that Lil Murda and Uncle Clifford are together at the end of season 2. I feel like that's a dream. So a lot of people say they think it's a dream, and I can't confirm or deny. I'm undecided. So I want to know what you guys thought. Is that a dream or did that happen?
Katori confirmed that was absolutely not a dream, and
Okay.
that did happen. And she do not play about her characters, especially her murder and her Cliff.
Yeah,
I can't remember if she confirmed. Okay,
she did.
She
did.
That's her
on
favorite
Twitter,
love story to write. So if she says it's not a dream, I fully believe like that's. Now, what happens after that? Are they fully?
That's
out
what I'm
in the light?
confused
I don't
about.
know, but like those people at that party know all that we saw actually happens. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think when I saw people say that, because I didn't think none of this. When I watched it, I'm like, he came out, they in the sun, they all this.
I thought so too.
Yeah, but when it was like they pointed out that she had taken the drugs, I feel like she was high as giraffe pussy now. Like, she was high, but I think the "you ain't fucking dreaming" was very specifically to tell us that even in her being high, this is not a dream. And also Patrick and Polk, Katori, and how they tell queer stories. To me, I think the reason why they went this route, and I don't know, like, I'm not in nobody's writer's room, and I'm like, Ja did the disclaimer. This is just my opinion. This don't got nothing to do with the show. But I feel like there's all the reasons they shouldn't stand in the sun, but we are going to have them stand in the sun. And I think part of that is communicating to other people, because they're very well aware of how their storytelling can affect others. So in my mind, it's giving people the courage, if they want to stand in the sun, to stand in the sun. So I personally have always said, I can't see those people, Katori and Patrick, or pretty much anybody that's responsible for the queer stories on the show, doing something like that and then coming back and be like, just kidding, he didn't come out. Like, to me, it would be so against what I feel like they were trying to communicate in the scene. Me personally. Again, that's my opinion. And then nobody else. But that's what I think.
No, I agree with that. I agree. Yeah. Okay, so let's tell the people what we have. Speaking of Patrick Ian Polk, we have an announcement about what we plan on doing August 4th, which is a Friday. Tia, do you want to let the people
Sure.
know what we have coming up?
So you guys have been with us during our Noah's Ark rewatch. We went through the whole season, went through Jumping the Broom, and we also went through the Rona Chronicles. There is a unreleased kind of short film that's on YouTube where Patrick kind of goes through how he actually got to Noah's Ark, the different versions that are very interesting. And so what we're going to do on Friday, August 4th at 10 p.m., we're actually going to do a live reaction where we actually show the short film on here. We got permission and everything to do that, and we're gonna react live. So we want y'all to come on here live because a lot of y'all probably haven't seen it, especially as many of y'all hadn't seen the episodes and stuff like that. So we know that you probably haven't seen this, but come on us. It's gonna be 10 p.m. Get some snacks, get some wine. Friday, August 4th. We're gonna have it right here on the screen, and we're gonna be reacting to it as we go along. We're gonna have a good Pink Posse time and Noah's Ark family time. So put that on. We're not going to have a bonus episode this week because we're going to do that. And then we're going to go from there. But definitely plug in with us Friday, August 4th, 10 p.m. right here on StreamYard. Of course, we're going to promote it and tell y'all about it. But just be prepared because we're going to have a good time. Because when y'all see this short, woo! We're going to be like JT was going over to the top five.
I was just fixing to say that it may be some of that reaction. Okay, so our last segment, of course, as always, is the bottom bitch.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm telling y'all right now, I don't have no bottom bitch. I am I have no clue. I have no clue.
I watched the episode last night trying to figure out who won the episode. I don't know.
So just to let y'all know, enjoy too, bottom bitch is our version of who won the episode. So based on everything that happened, who do you think came out as the winner of the episode and is now known as the bottom bitch?
Well, as everybody is pondering, I'm gonna give this episode's bottom bitch to the Pussyland tent because
okay, that's good, job.
Girls down through the pandemic,
Indeed.
through the panini press, through the Piccadilly, if you will. And it was giving everything that needed to be gave. It was giving hot, wet, clean. You know what I'm saying? It was giving all those little things. You got your wings. You got some. You see all that PPE they was giving out and shit like that. Like really, and truly, the Pussyland tent was all we even needed, and it was the best part of the episode.
Okay. Okay. I love that job. It was like the jukebox. It was now we got the Pussyland tent. Okay.
Wild.
Because I didn't have one either, and in the moment I was just like, "Shit,
that'll work."
I came for the Pussyland tent. I don't care about nothing else except for them text messages.
I think I'm gonna give the bottom bitch to Uncle Clifford. One, because Pussyland was her idea. Like it was her idea. She conceptualized it, she executed, and it did what it was supposed to do for everything that they needed to be done. Also, she's sitting over wherever she is looking as good as she want to look while Murder texting her like red, and not answering their text. I love that for my good sis. I love because I know how much she probably misses him, wants him. And now Quita on Twitter last night said that Murder did not text enough, which I kind of agree for 5 months. That sorry is gonna piss me off every time after Murder night. But she saw it and she stood strong. She handled her business and she didn't succumb to like what wasn't enough for Murder. And then through all this, they still had a business enough to do a grand opening. So I think for me, everything that has happened in this episode, I have to give it to my good sis, Uncle Clifford.
Okay. I think that's a good one. I don't know. I guess I'll give it to Wody. I think Murder popping up out of nowhere in the middle of a raging damn pandemic, talking about I want to go on tour. and Wody pulled that off out of nowhere. He planned it. I don't know how long the time period was, but it came together. He had the 12 days. They said we're going to call it the Dirty Dozen. He found 12 spots to send them on in the middle of this pandemic at the last ass minute. So I'll give it to Wody.
I like that.
That sounds wonderful. Any, mini, mighty, mo. Joy.
I'm like, it's only one Mini or Mo.
Okay, so the bottom bitch for Pussyland episode is gonna go to Mercedes sex toys, because the way that them sex toys got her screaming, had her screaming, bed shaking, thumping, howling. I said, okay, they are part of what made this episode for me. I don't know what she uses, but she needs to reveal in season 3 what them toys were so I could get some. And when I reviewed the episode initially, I was like, no toys do all that. And I stand by that, but I appreciate it, the comedic relief with that. So, because as far as the characters, none of the characters were coming as hard as Mercedes sex toys. No pun intended.
Not
they were not giving. The characters were not giving what they needed to give as much as Mercedes sex toys. So I have to go ahead.
Yes, so did.
Yeah, you said what you said on that one, sis. Oh my God. Okay. I don't know how to follow up. And maybe I should have went before you joined. So, oh Lord. So I'm gonna give the bottom bitch to the food boxes. Those food boxes supplied nutrition. So I'll give love to Pastor Woodbine, regardless of what you think about her. She did, help the community during the pandemic. I like that they showed that, because that was real during that time. People did pull together, especially the churches, other people in the community. So I like that. I like that they show, hey, murder made a mean, I don't know if that was a spam sandwich.
Some fried bologna sandwich.
Fried bologna
sandwich with some sweet baby rays.
Okay. So listen, I think it showed. And then you got Tanika. Tanika pulled up, got a few of them boxes. We know going on with what's her name? Michelle. Yeah, Shell. We know what she's going through, in her situation. So thank God for the food boxes, because it wasn't shit in that refrigerator to eat. So it actually it helped, Tanika eat. So I mean, I'm gonna show some love to Pastor Woodbine, feeding the community during the pandemic. Hey, that's all I got. All right. And we also have an announcement just before we close out. Before Tia does her closeout, I caught you just about to say.
I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna say we got an announcement. So PSR is gonna go on a 1-week break, which means there won't be a bonus episode this week, and there won't be a episode on. Is that not what I was supposed to say, Koji? Why are you looking like that?
Go ahead.
I was going to my phone.
1 week break. So we won't have a bonus episode this week, and we won't have a live show on July 29th. And then we're gonna go talk about everything that's happening with the strikes and everything else. It's a lot going on. So we're just gonna go kind of tinker with what's going on a little bit, and then figure out how to best come back. So we're going to take a little bit of a break just to kind of put it all together. So no bonus episode this Tuesday and no live episode July 29th. So that's it for our announcements. But Joy, tell them what you got going for the P-Valley podcast going forward, and also tell them where they can find you on the socials, as well as all your episodes that you have done so far.
So the podcast is, I would love 5 stars, more 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, but it's on all of the platforms that you listen to your podcasts. And I just want to remind you that my social media, because there aren't new P Valley episodes, my social media is more current events, hot topics, mostly the Twitter, a little bit just fun on Instagram. I'm not going to clog up your feeds. I don't post that often, but if you just want to hear, what I have to say or what other people have to say, I'll retweet it, kind of allow people to chime in a little bit. And so yeah, you could go there, and then as soon as the season 3 only God knows when that's coming back. I mean, I have a bunch of creative ideas for podcast episodes about P Valley, but at the same time, it's like I would like to see some movement. You know what I mean? With the actual casting for extras for season 3 and writing. So it's just a weird position to be in. Like, how much P Valley content should I be putting out, and when, and if? But the podcast, though, I mean, it really is. I am covering more hot topics. Mm-hmm. So, and everybody does on their podcast. So it's just, you could have another place to go if you feel like it. But I just also want to remind the listeners, y'all don't know how hard these women work, because everything that they do for Pink Sunday Radio is what I don't do. I ain't got logos going. I don't got segments going. I don't got artwork going. I mean, they are working hard. So I guess one of the ways that you could thank them is to give them those 5 stars, because they really help.
Oh,
give them the 5
sweet.
stars on Apple, give them on Spotify, give them wherever you listen to your podcasts. Put the thumbs up on the YouTube video and the other videos, because you guys have no idea how much time goes into putting together an episode, and you don't have to know, but you could just try to remember, just click a button to give a good rating, and that helps, and that motivates everybody to keep going. So I can't believe how hard y'all work, because I stay inconsistent. So
Yeah.
Thank you for the kind words, though.
Thank you so much, Joy. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being on with us today, because you, always, when new people come on, we all have different opinions, like how Josh schooled us today, but because we do interact on the show a lot, sometimes we have some similar opinions. So a lot of the stuff that you came in was like, yeah, so wait a Mississippi minute. I don't think that, that's exactly why we love having people on. And then when you have your podcast and you come back from the P Valley stuff, we would also love to be on your podcast and do some more collaboration and everything else, because it's great when we have people on and they have new stuff, and it's just like, oh my God, I never thought about it like that. So thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thank you so much, Joy. We appreciate it.
Definitely going to put your information up so people can come, because I'm sure even your current events is good. So, and as much as we can do before then, but you have a bunch of episodes about P Valley that I'm sure that we want them to listen.
Oh yes,
yeah.
I did a reenactment. I did a reenactment of the phone sex scene between Andre and Haley. I did a reenactment, and it is my most popular episode. And you have to listen. So just scroll through the episodes, because I reposted it. So I did it in season 1, then I reposted it sometime in season 2, because the fans have spoken. People love that episode. You just have to listen to it.
You
have to listen to it. Yeah.
Oh, it's going up. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to that one.
Here.
I'll DM the Twitter. I will DM the Twitter, because the episode itself is only the reenactment.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will put it up this week. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you, guys. I had fun. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
So now I'm going to close us out. I am Tia. Tia gets social everywhere on all of the platforms. You can find me there. Of course, Pink Sunday Radio, our Twitter page is where everything comes first. So all the announcements, if you didn't catch them here, we're going to put on whenever we do some special live episodes like we're doing on the 4th, or whenever we're taking a break just to regroup and make sure that we're on the right track with everything that's going on in the world. All of that information comes there first. So you definitely want to follow us and also hit that subscribe button so that you get all the notifications. Ja, what you got?
I am Ja_the_goddess on Instagram, Ja the Goddess, all one word on Twitter. Close both your eyes because ain't nothing coming out. There will be no bonus on Thursday. Take a nap, get some rest and relaxation. Meet us back on Friday, though, for that on August 4th, wherever that falls in, for the live thing. But until then, take a nap. Tanika?
Not a nap.
Some rest, relaxation.
I'm at your girl Jiggy on all the things. You can follow me wherever you don't already. You can also follow Pink Sunday Radio on Instagram and Threads if you don't follow us there. There's no bonus episodes coming this week, but if you're looking for bonus episodes, you can find those on pinksundayradio.com. That'll take you to Apple Podcasts. And while you're on Apple Podcasts, if you could leave us a 5-star written review, we would really appreciate it. If you're watching us right now on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and turn your notifications on so you never miss any of these videos. Koji, what do you got to tell them?
I'm Koji Mama on Instagram and Twitter. We also have a website, pinksunday.com, that you can subscribe to. So anytime we post an article, you will get the article first. Also, make sure you are subscribed to our link tree because everything is there so that anytime we post any content anywhere, you will get all of those notifications first as well. And like Tanika said, please make sure you like, subscribe to our YouTube. We also have great short content on our YouTube as well. So all of our little funny moments and everything, we have shorts for that. So enjoy. Thank you so much for watching and listening.
Pink Sunday Radio.